I now look to Cindy Gallop to continue the case for the proposition.
Good evening, everybody. I'm delighted to be here tonight, A, because I'm a proud Somerville alumna, but B, because the proposition tonight is absolutely correct. This House believes and welcomes the new era of porn, and you are directly responsible, every single one of you in this chamber, for that new era of porn, and I'm going to explain what I mean. I must admit, I get rather frustrated when I hear the word porn used like it's all one big homogeneous mass. That's like using the word literature to say it's all the same thing. The landscape of porn is like the landscape of literature. It is as rich and infinitely varied, as full of genres and subgenres. But as my honourable colleague has pointed out, there is a homogenizing force at play in the porn industry, which is the monopoly not many people are aware of, that is MindGeek, which owns pretty much everything tube site-wise, and like all monopolies, is actually strangling and preventing creativity, innovation, and disruption in porn. In any other industry, antitrust legislation would have been brought to bear many years ago, but nobody wants to take that long, hard look at the porn industry, and this is a problem. We all watch porn. We don't talk about it. Porn, therefore, exists in a parallel universe, in a shadowy otherworld. And porn, therefore, lacks a number of the tools that we use in other parts of our lives to improve them. For example, porn lacks curation and navigation. Or rather, it lacks socially acceptable curation and navigation, because there are sites that curate porn, but they're porn sites. There is no Yelp of porn. And there is no Yelp of porn because right now, it's really okay to come to the office on a Monday morning, stand by the water cooler and go, I'm really bored of all the restaurants I've been eating at. Who knows a new restaurant? It is not okay to come and stand by the water cooler and go, I'm really bored of all the porn I've been watching. Who knows some new porn? And that is a problem because the landscape of porn needs curation, navigation, and celebration. I have many female, queer, pornographer friends who are creating brilliant, innovative, creative, disruptive porn. They don't get the traffic, the revenue, and the numbers they deserve because nobody can find them. And by the way, the same is true for many creators on OnlyFans. Unless you have a very large following elsewhere, OnlyFans does not promote anybody on its platform. It's incredibly hard for people to find you and your work. My own venture, Make Love Not Porn, is not porn. We are pro-sex, pro-porn, pro-knowing the difference. And Make Love Not Porn, for me, was a complete and total accident. I never consciously set out to do what I very bizarrely find myself doing now. It came about because I date younger men, and 14 years ago, before anybody else was talking about this, I began realizing through direct personal experience that when we don't talk about sex openly and honestly in the real world, porn becomes sex education by default in not a good way. Being a naturally action-oriented person, I decided I was going to do something about this. So 13 years ago, I put up on no money a tiny clunky website at makelovenotporn.com that in its original version was just words. The construct was porn world versus real world. I launched at TED in 2009. I became the only TED speaker to say the words "come on my face" on the TED stage, 6 times in succession. The talk went viral as a result, and it drove this extraordinary global response to my tiny website that I had never anticipated. And I realized I'd uncovered a huge global social issue. And so I turned Make Love Not Porn into the world's first and only user-generated, human-curated, social sex video sharing platform. We are effectively what Facebook would be if Facebook allowed you to socially, sexually self-express, which it obviously doesn't. We are socializing and normalizing sex in the real world to make it easier for everyone to talk about, to promote consent, communication, good sexual values, and good sexual behavior. If porn is the Hollywood blockbuster movie, Make Love Not Porn is the documentary. We are a unique window onto the funny, messy, comical, awkward, beautiful, fabulous, hilarious ways we all have sex in the real world. And ultimately, Make Love Not Porn's mission is to end rape culture. We do that by doing something incredibly simple that nevertheless nobody else is doing. We end rape culture by showing you how wonderful great consensual communicative sex is in the real world. Our social sex videos role model good sexual values and behavior, and we make all of that aspirational versus what you see around you in popular culture. Now, I'm sharing this with you in the context of tonight's proposition because I and my tiny team fight an enormous battle every day to build Make Love Not Porn. Every piece of business infrastructure any other tech startup gets to take for granted, we can't. The small print always says no adult content. I can't get funded. I can't get banked. It took me 4 years to find one bank in America that would allow me to open a business bank account for Make Love Not Porn. Our biggest challenge is payment processing. PayPal won't work with adult content. Mainstream credit card processors won't. Every tech service we need to use to operate our platform, hosting, encoding, encrypting, the terms of service always say no adult content. Even something like sending our membership emails out. MailChimp will not work with adult content. We are not porn, but we face all the same barriers that porn does. And here's why this matters and needs to matter to every single one of you. When you force an entire industry into the shadows and underground, you make it a lot easier for bad things to happen, and you make it very difficult for good things to happen. 9 years ago, I wrote an open letter in Wired to David Cameron, the then Prime Minister, the headline of which was, "Don't block porn, disrupt it." Everything I said in that open letter is even more true today. The answer to everything that worries people about porn and about sex is not to shut down, censor, clamp down, block, repress. It is instead to open up. Open up the dialogue around all of this in the way I'm thrilled the union is doing tonight. Open up to welcoming, supporting, and funding entrepreneurs like me who want to help disrupt all of this for the better. Open up to a more gender-equal industry, because a porn industry equally led by women as much as men, targeting women and men with their content, is a very different industry. Open up to full diversity and inclusion, and open up to allowing all of us to do business the same way everybody else does. Because when you do that, you completely change the future and the landscape of what is deemed adult. I like to repurpose in this context Wayne LaPierre of the NRA's infamous gun control quote. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a business is a good guy with a better business. So yes, there can be a new era of porn, but that new era of porn is up to every single one of you. Because I'm regularly interviewed about what I do, and I'm always asked the same question. The journalist goes, "So Cindy, when do you think this will all be different? When do you think we'll be less repressed about sex?" And my response is always, you ask that question the wrong way. You ask that question in the passive tense. All of this changes when you and I and everyone else make it change, and I don't wait for things to change, I make them change. And the reason I'm so happy I'm talking to you tonight is because every single one of you here, you are the future of the new era of porn, because you are the people who are leaving Oxford, and you are going into business. You're going into tech. You're going into finance. You're going into law. You are the future regulators, the bankers, the funders, the financiers. The new era of porn is entirely in your hands. When you go into every one of those fields, get rid of the regulatory bullshit that is making all of these bad things happen. Break down those laws, rewrite them for the new internet era. Get rid of the obstacles that mean we can't get funded, we can't bank, we can't process payments. Change all of that, and you will not believe what a much better, healthier, and open new era of porn you will see. And by the way, while I have you, we want to see every single one of you becoming Make Love Not Porn stars on Make Love Not Porn. I want to build a category that is Make Oxford Love Not Porn. Please video yourselves shagging in the stacks at the Bodleian, in punks on the shoulder. You know you are. We want to see it. Celebrate the social sex revolution with Make Love Not Porn. Represent and show the world what Oxford is capable of, and walk through the